Hello, my dear learners. Today is another opportunity to learn about the subject Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. Together, let us explore the concept of the human person in the environment. So, bring out your pen, activity notebook, and your self-learning module. As you can see, the earth is greatly suffering today. You don't need to get the very sophisticated or modern high-tech tools to verify and prove this fact. By simply observing what is happening around the world, like massive forest fires, disturbed weather patterns, flooding heat waves, and other disasters in which you can already conclude about the extent of the environment's sickness. So, since we are the ones who caused the planet's destruction, we should also be the one to cause its needed healing by changing the way we relate with the earth. Since we are part of the world, we significantly affect our environment in the same way that the changes in our environment affect us. Now, to test your ability from your previous knowledge, let's start with what I know in your SLM or self-learning module. In test 1, you have to answer its question correctly in its corresponding item. Write only the letter of the correct answer. In test 2, remember to write true or false to each statement. So is it clear? Are you done answering? Now, let's take up lesson 1, which is the relationship with the earth. In this lesson, you have to notice disorder in an environment and things that are not in their proper place, and be the one to organize them in an aesthetic way. So let's have our activity again, called Living Encounter. All you have to do is to walk around your backyard or entire neighborhood. Look for all organisms that you can find there. These include the unlimited domesticated animals and garden plants. In your module, there is a table provided for you. Just copy that table on your activity notebook and jot down your observations. Now, if you are done with this, there are some questions for you in which your answers will be written in your activity notebook. The first question is, what have you observed about the plants and animals? Are they generally well or in good condition? Basing in your own judgment, can you answer why or why not? Second question, can you find a connection between human action and the condition of this organism? What is it? Please elaborate your answer. There is a song, Himig ng Pasko. The first line stated, malamig ang hangin at malamig ang simoy ng hangin, which highlights the cool breeze of amihan, which we call it northeast monsoon, that Filipinos used to experience during the bare months of the year. The term used to experience is emphasized here because there are instances in the last few years when this observation no longer holds true. These months are just getting warmer and humid in many parts of the Philippines. Not only that, our country as well as its neighbors has also endured a lot of hotter and drier summer months, stronger and more frequent typhoons, wetter, rainy seasons, and massive flooding over the years. Indeed, our world is changing, and it seems that it is changing for the worse. Now, you try to pause for a while and reflect on why these natural calamities are happening and recurring in our world. What has been causing all of this? one of Joey Ayala's masterpieces that talks about how everything is connected to everything else. It's stated in Tagalog, ang lahat ng bagay ay magkaugnay. Magkaugnay ang lahat. If, for example, you indiscriminately dispose your garbage in your backyard, your surrounding becomes dirty and polluted. If your environment is not clean, it becomes a source for disease-causing organisms, which may give you and your family serious infections and diseases. And if the disease is not treated properly, this might be the cause of death. So this only illustrates that all our actions have significant effect to everybody and to everything in our community and in the bigger world. Now, can you cite some actions that you are used to do that may have a significant effect to the environment? So what are these? Since it is undeniable that we are part of the world, everything that we do will result to serious consequences. It is important, therefore, for us to examine our relationship not only with other people, but also with the earth. The relationship that exists between humanity and environment. There are three major perspectives that we can use in understanding humanity's relationship with the environment. You should study the terms and their meaning on your self-learning module. So let's take up these words. The first word is anthropocentrism. This view believes that humans are not the most important species on the planet and that they are free to transform nature and use its resources. The next word is biocentrism. The belief that humans are not the only significant species on the planet and that all organisms have inherent value and should be protected. The next word is ecocentrism. This view believes that humankind is part of a greater biological system or community and that we have significant role as stewards or guardians of nature. The influence of humanity on the environment can be best understood if we consider the individual person, you, as a dynamic source of change within your particular environment. Once again, look around your neighborhood and reflect on the state of its surroundings. Do you really consider your place clean and orderly? If not, how should you respond then to this situation? From these perspectives, which do you think can become very destructive if not examined well? Why? Environment. We can apply the principle environmental aesthetics. We call it in Tagalog, kagandahan ng kapaligiran, to create a clean and orderly environment. This philosophical view insists that by maintaining order in the environment, we can bring out the natural beauty of the surroundings and in the process contribute to the well-being of the people and other organisms living in it. Needless to say, our appreciation of the beauty of nature can help us become more concerned for the environment and move us to treat nature with great respect. Now, we will have another activity. This is a research of specific environmental problems happening in our country. You should analyze them using any of the major philosophical views. You have to make a table. Divide it into 2 columns, with the first column as the environmental problems and the other column for analysis. Rubric is being provided for this in your self-learning module. Now, let us emphasize the terms environmentalism and sustainability by doing the haiku analysis. What you are doing to do is to analyze and express your opinion. If you believe that the earth is your only home, why do you need to care for it? And you have to write your opinion in your activity notebook. I will tell you one event when Taal volcano erupted in the early days of the year 2020. Several netizens called not only for the rescue of human beings but also for the beasts, farm animals, and pets. This is not surprising at all because animals have their rights and the Filipinos in general are animal lovers. There are Filipinos even who disclosed that they could not dare to eat the food prepared from the animals that they personally raised in their backyard. This only proves that a human being cannot really harm other beings or the earth itself as a whole if only he or she understands properly his or her role and connection with them. So how about you? Have you experienced raising a pet? Tell us about your relationship with your domesticated animal and write your answers on your activity notebook. From the previous lesson, we already learned that our anthropocentric, in Tagalog term, nakasentro sa tao. This understanding of the environment has led to its destruction. Because the environment was merely seen as a thing to be used to satisfy human needs, it resulted to environmental abuse and decline of environmental health. And now, we are reaping its negative effects. The global devastation brought about by climate change. It is in this setting that environmentalism come into view. We have another term, environmentalism. This is comprising many related ideas and advocacies that address the various environmental issues and concerns. One important perspective from environmentalism is environmental ethics. This ethics for the environment examines how we, as human persons, relate with the earth and all within it. It also frames a critical understanding on how our human activities create an impact to the environment. So, have you ever thought on how your actions affect nature? In what way do these affect the earth? Please write your response on your activity notebook. Aside from what has been already stated, environmental ethics also contributes the following. Number 1, it serves as a basis for reflecting on how your actions show regard for nature. Number 2, it guides us in upholding the welfare of the environment. Number 3, it also encourages governments, institutions, corporations, and other related organizations to commit to a responsible action for the environment. Number 4, it demands environmental justice, a concept that calls for a fair distribution of environmental benefits, as well as the burden of meeting the effects of climate and other environmental changes. One of the major concepts that goes along with environmentalism is sustainability or sustainable development. So what is this all about? This concept teaches us to make wise decisions concerning the use of Earth's resources. today, so that there is still enough left for tomorrow. This principle, in other words, calls us to think for others, including those that are yet to be born in the future, as we use and consume the resources of the planet in our generation. So to put it simply, sustainability is like eating your meal, being satisfied with it to a certain extent, but you have to consciously leave some food on the table, which is enough to meet the needs of those who have yet to arrive in it. So now, reflect on how you have been using these resources: food, fuel, water, and electricity. Have you been using them responsibly and efficiently? How can you use these resources more sustainably? Sustainability is founded on three important principles, namely environmental integrity, economic efficiency, and equity. The values of prudence and frugality are also associated with living sustainably. So, environmental integrity. Human activities are well thought and managed that the impact to the ecosystems are minimal or just the average. Economic efficiency. It is a wise use of resources, using it efficiently, avoiding unnecessary wastes. Equity demands to use our natural resources in a manner that these are conserved so that the next generation will be able to use them. Prudence, ability to discipline and govern one's actions and behavior. Frugality, the quality of being economical on the use of one's resources. So, how will you apply these principles and values in responding to the specific environmental concerns that you have in your home, school, and community? Please give your concrete examples in your activity notebook. Indeed, since it is human activity that has seriously threatened the integrity of the environment, it is also our duty to do something to restore it. We already have the tools of environmentalism and sustainability in our hands. Why not start reaching out for the healing of this broken earth? Trees, fish, mountains, seas, lands. So what's more?